Welcome back. Lawmakers here in Colorado are getting ready to decide if you should be able to get medical and recreational marijuana products delivered to your home. A bill was introduced in the Colorado House this week that would allow the state to create delivery permits for dispensaries after going through a training program. If approved and signed by the governor, these deliveries could start next January. And public hearings will begin next month as the FDA starts the process of creating new rules to clear up what businesses can and cannot do with CBD. That is the non-psychoactive ingredient found in marijuana. Congress legalized CBD derived from hemp back in December, but current FDA rules prevent companies from adding it to food or drink. Regulations could include classifying products with high concentrations as drugs and lower concentrations as foods, and that would allow for an easier review process for businesses. So there's obviously a lot going on when it comes to marijuana, CBD, now hemp in Colorado, which, as you heard, became federally legal under the Farm Bill last December. And Maureen West used to be the manager of the Colorado Department of Agriculture hemp program and a former Colorado Assistant Attorney General. She is now with hemp oil company called Functional Remedies. So yes. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Interesting change of career for you. It sounds like some people might view that as switching teams here, or maybe going to the enemy.
I don't think so at all. I think that actually we should all be working on the same side. So I have had a long history of being involved in regulation. I started off as a dental hygienist, went to law school, represented several regulatory boards, and so I'm very familiar with regulation. Went over to the Colorado Department of Agriculture and was the hemp program manager, and so it's actually a natural transition for me to now go into the corporate sector, work with this wonderful company, Functional Remedies, who really wants to be a leader in terms of regulation for hemp oil and hemp products.
Because hemp is such an unknown here, but where, I mean, I know that this is a possibility, is a huge crop for Colorado farmers, correct? How big are we talking?
It's a huge crop nationally speaking, and so it's hard to predict exactly where this is all going, but we know it's huge, we know it's not going away, and hemp alone has about 25,000 uses, so there's just a lot of potential in a lot of different industries for hemp.
Yet a lot of people still are afraid of hemp, afraid because of the connection to marijuana.
Correct, and so it's the first hurdle is education and really getting people to understand that industrial hemp does not have the psychoactive effects that marijuana does, and that it does have, again, a lot of amazing uses. So we need to get over the education hurdle, which I think we've done a good job of in Colorado. I think when I was at the Colorado Department of Agriculture, that was a main objective, to just educate the agriculture community, industries, the public at large about industrial hemp.
And so when you talk about regulations and protocols, I mean, this must be extensive, right? Are we talking about sale and production, and I mean even transportation?
It is extensive. It is extensive, and so, but regulation in general, just to put it all in perspective, is really about consumer protection, and it's really about protecting the industries and keeping the bad players, the illegitimate companies out. So there will be a need for regulation in all these different areas, and certainly with regard to hemp oil, such as what Functional Remedies produces, that would be under the FDA as we know it now, and so we're really looking for some guidance from the FDA so that portion of this industry can get some guidance and make sure that we're keeping the consumer safe and that the industry is doing things properly.
And so hemp in how many forms? I mean, you said there are multiple uses. What are they?
Oh, well, it ranges anywhere from fiber, food, oil, hempcrete for homes. My understanding is that BMW uses it in their cars. So it's just, if you can think of it, probably there's a use for it with hemp.
So where do you see this ultimately for Coloradans? I know we talked about farmers benefiting from growing the crop. Where else will we see this in the future?
Well, it is a huge benefit for the farmers, and what we're seeing is that it's bringing a lot of the young people back to the farms. They're excited about growing industrial hemp, and it's a crop that will afford farmers across the nation to make a better living. And then, of course, that's just the cultivation of the industrial hemp. So the products are again, they're varied, and there's potential for a lot of industry. And again, functional remedies is at the forefront of that.
Well, thank you so much for enlightening us on this new industry to Colorado and to the country, I guess we should say as well.
Yeah, it's exciting to talk about.
Maureen West, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Certainly appreciate you being here. And listen, if you ever have a question or you have a segment idea, you can tweet us at Denver 7 Politics. And you can always watch today's segments anytime at thedenverchannel.com/politicsunplugged.